Hey everyone, we're day 7 here on the beach. Some more thoughts for you coming this way. You know, a couple months ago I listened to an interview with a woman named Debra Searl, who was the first female to solo cross the Atlantic Ocean in a rowboat. This interview blew me away, and just this seemingly insurmountable task, monumental achievement of crossing the Atlantic, took her about 3 months, which is not too dissimilar to some of the forecasts we have for how long we're expected to stay quarantined or be locked down or have some restrictions on our movements with our current coronavirus pandemic. Regardless of the amount of time that she spent crossing the Atlantic, the most amazing thing was how she responded to the challenges that she faced. Partway across, she'd been battered by thunderstorms and circled by sharks and nearly run over by cargo ships. And in the middle of this journey, she calls on the satellite phone back home to England, where she was from, and calls her sister. And she's in floods of tears down the satellite phone line, saying, "I just can't do it, I need to quit, I need to turn back." And her sister, who's presumably quite comfortable and calm and probably sipping a cup of tea someplace in a warm office in England, says to her, "You know, Deborah, you just have to choose your attitude about this." Which, on the face of it, sounds very blithe and really uncaring in a sense, given the challenge that she was facing. And yet, there's a truth to this statement, that we really need to choose our attitude about how we face the current situations that we're in. Case in point, where I'm currently staying, the hotel proprietor is, well, shall we say, a little bit fearful, and really quite nervous about this entire pandemic and unsure of what he should do next or how he'll make ends meet. And rightly so, not to downplay the difficulty of the situation. I mean, in the tourism sector where he is working, it's pretty much tanked for this year. And we have no really idea of how and when that will recover. And I understand that's a very difficult and awful situation to be put in. And yet, framing the situation in a different light can help us navigate and negotiate the situation a little bit better. Rather than being fearful of what we have, maybe look at it as an opportunity to learn a new skill or to adapt to a new environment. Instead of saying, "Oh, I'm stuck here and I can't go anywhere," maybe frame it in the light of, "I get to stay here," or "I get to spend more quality time with friends and family," or "I get to learn a new skill from home," or "I get to actually have a good night's sleep without having to worry about waking up at a certain time in the morning." To frame your situation in a positive light, not to necessarily downplay the difficulty of it, because it is, but to frame it in a way that helps us interpret and see things in a way that gives it a bit more light, a bit more levity, a bit more positive spin on it. Of course, not everything is going to be all sunrise and rainbows and happy flowers and lambs, but we do need to make sure that we've got some sense of positivity within all of this, because there are great things that will come out of this. We'll learn new skills. We'll learn how to adapt. We'll learn, in general, about who we are and our communities and the way that we relate to other people. And all of these things can be nothing but positive. We're learning to take downtime, to rest, to relax, to focus on things that are really more important to us than the everyday grind. And quite honestly, if I can frame things in that light, it makes this whole situation, well, pretty bearable. A lot less like crossing the Atlantic in a solo rowboat, and a bit more like enjoying the journey. That's all for today. We'll see you tomorrow.